Hey loves, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to learn how to make a bustier with a tiny yoke. Though this one is a kind of wide, but you will do them with the same methods. So I'll show you guys how to cut this with a side cutout. So first of all, we are going to do our pattern drafting is very important for this type of bustier. So this is my main basic bodies: the chest line, bust point, under bust, half length and allowance. So I will first of all measure my nipple to nipple. At my bust point, I'll measure my nipple to nipple, that is 8 divided by 4 plus half an inch. Then at the under bust, I measured 4. At the half length, I measured 4. I measured 4.5 at the bust point, but at the under bust and the half length, I measured 4 inches. So I will connect the lines and I'll extend it to the chest line. So at the chest line, I'll extend my chest line by 1 inch so that my breast will not show too much. So I went up by 1 inch. You can go up by 1.5 or 2. So I'll extend that line to that place where I extended the chest line by 1 inch. So from there, I will make a curve. You can see what I'm doing. I want the neckline to have a sweetheart shape before the center yoke. So at the chest line, I want my yoke to stop at 1 inch above my bust point. I want the sweetheart shape to stop at 1 inch above the bust point. So the wideness of the yoke, you can decide to make it 0.5 or 0.75. That is on fold. It is on fold. So if you open this 0.5, it will be 1 inch, but I made mine 0.75. So from that place, I will make a straight line down. You know, this dress has a tiny yoke in between the bustier. So from my chest line, I will make a sweetheart shape. Like I told you guys, I want this sweetheart shape to stop at 1 inch above my bust point. So I traced it, and after tracing, I will go ahead and smoothing it out with my curve. You can see how my sweetheart shape is, and then the rest of the yoke extended down to the half length. So I'll label the yoke. So after that, at the under bust, I will subtract 2 inches. You can make yours 2.5. I'll subtract 2 inches, that is for the breast curve. Then I will rule a straight line down, that is from the under bust. I will rule a straight line down, and then from the under bust as well, I will make my breast curve. I'll make the curve to meet my bust point. So at the chest line, I will subtract 1 inch. You can make it half an inch, but 1 inch is okay. That is for the upper bust tightening. So I connected from the bust point to that point where I measured my 1 inch. So I want my curve to be well defined. So first of all, draft out your yoke. Then you can now take out your breast curve and the upper bust tightening. So I'll go ahead and cut out this. I'll just cut out the neckline and the armhole line. Then after doing that, I will go ahead and take my body measurement. So before I take my body measurement, I will cut out that you can see the area where I made my breast curve from. So I will cut out that particular dart. Let me remove the excess pattern paper. You can see what I'll do right now. I'll go ahead and cut out that area where I curved my breast curve from. So I will cut it out, and for now I'll leave my yoke. I want to take my full body measurements and everything before cutting out my yoke. So right now I will cut out that space where we do not need, and I'll also take out the dart at the chest line. Remember, we have a 1 inch dart at the chest line. So I will open up the yoke so that I can remove that dart. So I have removed the dart at the chest line. So right now I'll place my center piece to overlap the breast curve. You can see how I closed them. Then I will take my bust measurement. The bust is 44 plus 2 inches seam allowance. Then the waist is 36, that is 9 divided by 4 is 9, plus 2 inches seam allowance, that is 11. So I marked 11. So I'm going to connect the line, and after connecting it, I will cut out my pattern, and this will be my normal measurement. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. You can see I have not removed my yoke. I want my yoke to be there because it will help me to get my accurate body measurement. Then after, I can cut it off. So for the back pattern, you can do your normal back pattern. If you want, you can add a dart, but I don't usually use that at my back. If you have been following me for a while, you'll notice that I don't use that. So the back part has a deep V neckline. Then I will cut out this V neckline. So this is the back part, and this is the front. So right now I'll go ahead and cut out this yoke because I've gotten everything that I want. So I'll cut out the yoke. You can see it is very tiny. I made mine 0.75. You can make yours 0.5 if you want it to be super tiny. You can even make it 0.4 or 0.3. So this is what the front looks like. And remember, this yoke will be on fold because I'll cut it out on my skin net. So this is what it looks. So I have cut everything on my fabric. I have the men fabric, I have the lining because I'm using a lace. I have the lining for the lace and the lining for and another one for the lining. So I've added my pad. This is my skin net. I have cut it out, and I cut it out on fold, and it is double. You can see it is double. I want it to be strong, so I doubled it. This is my breast cuff. I have placed my lace on them. So this is the centerpiece. You can see the centerpiece is divided into two because the skin net will be in between the two of them. So this is how the front looks. So for the back, I have also cut out the back part, the back piece. I cut my lace. I cut a lining for the lace and another lining for turning it. So this is the back part. Like I told you guys, I will not use any dart, and the one that I'm placing on top right now is the lining. So I will go ahead and turn that. So I have joined the part of my front part. So I have two pieces now. It is time to join our skin net. You can see the skin net in between them. So I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to flip and join to one side. I've also joined the lining. I joined everything separately. So after joining the pad, you place your skin net this way, and then you will go ahead and join the first part. So I'll start from the half length area, and from there I will join. And when I reach this curved area, I will take my time. You can see how I am sewing it gradually. This is the area where we have our sweetheart neckline. So you take your time. Do not drag your net when sewing this area. So I'll join it, and after joining, I'll show you guys what it looks like. So I am done joining one side. You can see our sweetheart neckline. So if I take in my seam allowance, you can see how it looks, and it is so neat and beautiful. So right now I am going to join the other side. This type of yoke is actually easier than the other yoke that I made in my last tutorial. So I'll go ahead and join this one. I will start from the half length area and join. So for the lining will be separate because it will not have any yoke. You will see how the lining looks. So at this sweetheart neckline, take your time and sew it because it is very curvy. So I am done joining and you can see what I have. This is so fine and you can see the skin net in between. The allowance is still showing, but I will still turn it with my lining, and after turning with my lining everything will take shape. So right now I will place my lining on top. I will use my lining to close all this area where I have my allowance. You can see it is very fine. So I will flip and then I will place one lining. Please, if you are joining your lining, I'll advise you to start from the armhole part. It is actually easier because I tried the two of them. So start from the armhole area when joining your lining, and when you reach the sweetheart neckline, if you are finding it hard to curve it, you can actually notch that curvy area so that it will be very easy for you to sew on. So you can see I am notching that curvy area so that I can easily sew on the curved area. So take your time and cover the allowance, then I'll sew straight down. So you go ahead and notch, because you will notch and you will top stitch. Top stitching is very important because it will help you to turn it very well. So you can see how it looks. I have covered one side of the illusion net, of the area where I joined the illusion net. So I'll go ahead and turn the other side. So you can see one side is looking neat already, so I'll go ahead and turn the other side. I'll flip it, but before I do that, I'll top stitch on this one, and after top stitching I will cover the side seam. So I'll go ahead and top stitch. So after doing that, I will cover the side seam. If you want to do an inseam finishing, you will have to leave the side seam open because you will join the lining separately and you will join the main fabric separately. So after doing that, I will go ahead and turn the other side. I'll place my lining and turn the neckline, and after turning the neckline, I'll top stitch and I'll cover the side seam. So right now I'll place my lining for the other side. You can start from the down part if you are sewing the second one, it will be easier. But if you are turning the first one, the first side that you turn, please start from the armhole area. I know why I'm saying this. It will be easier for you to control if you start from the armhole area. So when you reach the curvy part, you will notch so that you can turn it properly. So you can see I'm taking my time and I will join this curved area very well, and right now I am approaching the armhole area. So after doing that, you will go ahead and notch, and after notching you will top stitch and cover the side seam. So I did not actually add an interface to this because I am using a shiny face satin, and the satin that I'm using is very hard, so there's no point adding an interface to it. But if you want to add an interface, it is fine because it will even give you more stability, but I did not add an interface. So you can see I'm top stitching the second part, and I am taking my time to do that. So I go ahead and close the side seam. Sorry, my thread is cutting. So after closing the side seam, this is what we have. So I go ahead and iron very well, and after ironing, I will add a hemming gum round that illusion around the area where I joined my illusion neckline. I'll add my hemming gum there and iron it very well. You can see what I have here. It is very neat and beautiful. So just take your time and sew it very well. So right now I am done ironing, and I have torn the back parts as well. So this is what it looks like. It is very neat. So right now I will close the back part. I have turned the back part and I have closed the zipper allowance. So I'll place the front on the back and then take my body measurements. First of all, I will pin it down, and after pinning down, I'll take my body measurement. Then after joining the side, I'll also close my shoulder. So right now I will mark my body measurements and then close the shoulder as well. So if you want to get your accurate body measurement, you will have to place a fabric under this bust area. You can see I'm trying to place a fabric under it so that it can stand, so that when I'm taking my measurements, I will get the accurate measurement. So right now I will take my waist measurement, and I'll also take my bust measurement. So I'll go ahead and join, and after joining I'll come back and show you guys. So I'll reduce the shoulder area of the back. That is for the shoulder tightening. I normally reduce the shoulder area of the back by 1/2 inch. So right now I am done joining the side and the shoulder. So right now I will do my illusion cutout on the side. This is the easiest method if you are only doing the illusion cutout for the upper part. That is if you are doing it for the upper part. So I'll go ahead and cut out the lace, only the lace, and you can see our illusion cutout is out. This method is actually very easy. You can see I just marked and I cut off my lace. So after that I'll use a trimming to cover this area. That is if you want your illusion to be only at the upper part, that is before the half length. So you can see what I did here. So I'll measure my half length and I'll mark. I'll go ahead and cut out my half length. I want the front to be kind of curvy than the back, so I'll go ahead and make the back straight, but the front part will be curvy. So I'll take my time and trim very well. So this is the down part of the gown. I'll place the front on it, and I'll also trace out the curve I have there. If you want yours to be deeper than this, fine, but I just want it to be just a bit curved at the front. So I'll trace out the curve that I have on the skirt part, and I will cut out. And after cutting that out, I'll go to my sewing machine and join the two of them. So I'll pin the lace area down so that it will not be coming up. I'll still hold it down with my trimming. So right now I am done, and I have fixed the sleeve, so you can see our illusion cut out. I've added my sleeve as well, so I used a trimming to close the illusion cut out, and this is the final look of our dress. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.